Hi, this is Mrs. Nagayama, and this is a recording to help you with the Unit 4.03 quiz. Please review sections 4.01, 4.02, and 4.03 before taking this quiz. So quiz 4.03 goes over Gregor Mendel's studies. So he studied pea plants. So as you can see here, there are different types of pea plants, some that produce yellow peas, some that produce green peas. They have different types of flowers, pods, stems, and seeds. And so what Gregor Mendel looked at are the differences in how they passed on traits to their offspring. So he studied genetics by observing these pea plants. He didn't really care about pea plants per se, but he was predicting that how plants pass down genetics was similar to how we pass down genetics. So he looked at different traits on the pea plants and observed how they are passed down to their offspring. Here are some traits that he observed. He observed the form of the seed, which could be round or wrinkled. He observed the color of the flowers, which could be white or violet. He observed the color of the pod, which could be green or yellow. He observed the stems, which could be tall or short, and many other traits as well. So his findings was that traits are actually passed down by individual genes. So there must be a seed form gene, a flower color gene, and a pod form gene. All of these have individual genes, and each gene has different versions. So for the seed form gene, we have either round seeds or wrinkled seeds. So these would all be from the same gene, but they would be different versions. And these different versions is what we call alleles. Again, alleles are the different versions or forms of a gene. So here's the first question. Which statement best describes how alleles are related to genes? A gene is always dominant to an allele. B, an allele is a form of a gene that determines a specific trait. C, a gene is a form of an allele. Or D, genes are located on alleles in chromosomes. So if we go back one slide, we see that it says that Mendel found out that each gene has different versions, and we call those alleles. So the best answer for this one would be B, an allele is a form of a gene that determines a specific trait. All right, the next topic we're going to go over are genotypes versus phenotypes. So genotypes are the genes that a person has, whereas phenotypes would be the actual thing you can see with your eyes, which would be the physical appearance. For every single gene, your mother and your father give you one copy. So that's why when you look at your genotype, it's always written with two letters, one from your mom and one from your dad. So let's say big B is brown eyes and little b is blue eyes. There would be three possible genotypes. We could either have a big B, meaning both your mom and your dad gave you brown-eyed genes. You can get a big B, little b, which means one parent gave you a blue eyes and one parent gave you brown eyes, or little b, meaning both parents gave you blue-eyed genes. So these are the three different possibilities. These are the three genotypes that are possible. So genotypes versus phenotypes. Let's go a little bit more into it. So some alleles are dominant over others. So some versions of a gene are dominant over the others. If it's dominant, we write it with a capital letter. If it's recessive, which means weaker, we write it with a lowercase letter. So again, if we had brown eyes, which is dominant with big B, and blue eyes, which is recessive, which is little b, we can then figure out what the phenotypes or the physical appearance would be for these people with certain genes. So if we have big B, that means they have two brown-eyed genes, which means it would be brown. If we have big B, little b, that means we have one brown eye and one blue eye. But because you have one brown eye, which is dominant over the blue eye, we consider that brown. You would only see brown, you would not see blue. And then the last one is little b, which would be two blue-eyed genes, which would result in blue eyes. Okay, so here's a question. Assume that the allele for dark hair in dogs is big D, and the allele for light brown hair is little d. What is the genotype of a dog that has light brown hair? Would it be big D, big D, little d, or none of the above? it would be little d, and the reason why is because if we have any capital letters or a big D, that means a dog would have dark hair since big D is dominant. So the only way that a dog can have light brown hair is if they have two little d's, which means both of their parents gave this dog a little d light brown hair gene. If you have any questions or need more resources about this quiz, please email me or call me. Please make sure to take it as many times as you need to until you reach a 60%, which is a passing grade in the class.